Come watch me make a Karl hoodie. Snip, snip. Everything took so long to dry. So
I can learn from the tragedy and change the course of this history. Move through time, oh, oh. Don't overlook the signs.
Almost done.
Now I see
The swirl.
It's
Been so
my
happy with it.
responsibility.
Time is a tool you can put on the wall or wear it on your wrist. The past is far behind us. The future doesn't exist.
Oh, what's the time?
It's 8:45. Time to have a bath.
Don't make me get violent. I want my ring back, baby, that's a diamond. You don't listen anyways, I'll be quiet. I don't really feel like fighting.
¿Dónde estás? ¡Contéstese! ¡Te estoy llamando ya hace rato! ¡Te mando WhatsApp! ¡Te mando mundo!
What did it say?
Take that bus to Los Angeles.
We're not on the bus
I know.
to Los Angeles. We blew up the bus
I know.
to Los Angeles. So what are we supposed to do?
Wait for another bus?
What if we blow up that one too?
After making not one, but 2 Rambo books, it's time to leave that in the past and move on to the next project. My next project is going to be making Karl's time travel journal. With the memory book, I had a lot of freedom for the design because there was no canonical version of it. But with Karl's, they've already shown a version of it in Tales of the SMP. So I'm going to be taking that design and then adding a couple extra details. So I'm going to be keeping the same colors and the same spiral on the front, but then I'm going to go and add a little extra details around the borders. And especially with the spine, since we never get a view of that, I'm taking a couple more liberties there. It still very much has the same look, but it's a big difference. I had a ton of people asking for Karl's book to be the next project, so make sure to follow along. Let's get started on Karl's time travel book. Now this is going to be a big book, so I'm going to use a whole pad of sketchbook paper, I'm going to borrow some tea, and to give it a more aged look, I'm going to dip each paper in the tea, and then put in the oven at a low heat to dry. And yeah, I had to tell my roommates that I needed the kitchen for 4 hours in order to cook my paper for my Minecraft bookbinding project. After all the paper is dry, I fold each one, and man, this is turning out to be a really big book. For context, this is the Rambo book. I punch holes in each of the page signatures, and then this is going to be a cord binding, so I made a makeshift rig and then sewed it to each cord. I know it looks scuffed, but it works. I then glue on the front and back end pages. I then take this lovely blue ribbon and then cut the end into a triangle, and then glue it right onto the spine. Using cord in the ribbon, I make bookends as well. This is only the text block and it's already starting to look really cool, so make sure to follow along when I get started on the cover next time. It's time to make the cover of Karl's time travel book. I already have my pages all sewn together, so the next step was to cut my board and then drill 4 holes into it. I then take the cord that I already sewed to the pages, pull them through, and then glue and flatten them down. And wouldn't you know it, actually starting to look like a book. To make it look a little bit more fancy, add a border around it for embossing. I'm going to be using a pleather material that I painted with acrylic. I then glue it and then pull it over the spine so you can see the cord, and then flatten it over the rest of the cover and making sure to detail the embossing. I then glue on the front and back cover pages, and now it's time to decorate the spine. I highlight the cords in gold and then fill in the middle area with a darker purple. I didn't trust myself to paint his initials by hand, so I ended up cutting out and then painting it and then gluing it on, giving it a super clean look. Next part is to add the final decorations to cover, but let me know what you guys think of it so far. Today I will be finishing the cover of the Karl time travel book. Starting out, I cut out pieces of paper and then painted them with gold to make a gold trim. Next, I'm taking these corner protectors and then painting them gold to match and then placing them onto the corners. It's such a simple element, but it makes it look so fancy. I actually went into the computer to create and print the last elements. That way I knew that they would all be super clean and make sure that it was what I wanted before I cut them out of cardboard and then painted them. Last step, I actually used super glue to add them to the cover because I didn't want them going nowhere. And with that, the cover is finished.
Turn back time. Oh, gonna hit rewind and find that.
I think the cover turned out amazing, but what would be the Karl book without the tales from the SMP? Next time I'm going to be showing you how I filled up these pages.
Leave them all behind and then repeat. The stories that I know, collecting over time. The memories overflow and spill out of my mind. So I have to write them down, get it figured out, sorting through these thoughts in my head. But can I make a change? Can I find a way, or am I helpless to the future instead? Feels like all the clues are hidden right before my eyes. I'll write it down, remember tales of the past. I'll type it out, these pages help me keep track. I'll write it down, so that these moments will last.
And Karl will stick his fucking head in and go, "Hey guys, nowhere to be found. Where's Karl?" I know where he is. He's a fucking stander, and he's too embarrassed to admit it.
I know, I tell all my niggas, cut the check, bust it out, turn your goofy dog, pow. I'ma do splits on it, yeah, splits on it. I'm a bad bitch, I'ma throw bits on it. I'ma bust it open, I'ma go stupid and be bits on it. I don't date, hun.
Give me a furnace, now!
I know damn well you're not talking to me. I know damn well you're not talking to me, Karl.
No, I'm not.
When you say yeah, I say no. When you say stop, all I wanna do is go, go, go. You, you're the half of me, the half I'll never be.
My grandma doesn't say curse words.
My grandma taught me. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't.
This is epic.
It would have been cool. It'd make for.
It's because my grandma passed away.
Traveling with you under the covers. No homo.
Spooning with you just like we're lovers. No homo.
Our lips touch for a minute or two, but no homo.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, you gotta ask him a question first.
Oh yeah, what color is my underwear?
Haters call me gay, but that ain't hating, because I'm not homophobic, my morals are straight, and if I'm in the closet, then you are below me, taking the BAT out of basement, homie.
He thought you looked really pretty, or it looked pretty cool when you put indigo streaks in your hair.
He did.
And he wondered.
Then my letter when she clap on. Then my letter when she clap on.